Good evening, and welcome to the first of the Heroes Lounge Mega Matchup Mondays, or Mega Monday Matchups. I've got no idea which it is, because we just made it up. So, what is this going to be? It's going to be a weekly cast here on the Heroes Lounge channel, every Monday at 20 CET. That's now, in whichever time zone you are. And we are kicking off the first of these weekly events with KittyKat Crusaders versus Divison 3, I should say. They have misspelt their name. It's a Division 2 match, though, so don't get too confused. But first, in a segment I like to call Popping Out the News, we've got a roundup of the last week's Heroes Lounge action with Poppin Fresh.
I like the title. That's very good. Just a quick one this week. Seeing as we've only had sort of 1 week so far, we've had Division S qualifiers going on. We've had 3 so far in NA. 3 teams qualified for Division S, which is Anti-Clown Association, Perfect Gems, and Regen. We've had 4 EU qualifiers so far, which is done on a point-based system to qualify for the Crucible. So far, we've had Kiku Combo win 3 of those, and Feel the Heat managed to win the 4th one. So the teams that will be participating in the Crucible on Sunday are Kiku Combo, Feel the Heat, Pepe Milady, Disgusting Wheel of Order, and Skoofischkauwiten. That'll do. They'll be up against Go Next and Memeldor's Meme Machines. They'll be battling it out for the final 4 places in Division S. So that's something to keep an eye out for next week. That's a bit about it for now. Hopefully, once we've had 2 solid weeks of lounge action, there'll be a bit more to report on. But
fair enough, and thank you, Poppin, for the news there. And that's a good summary. As you say, it's only been 1 week, but yes, thank you for joining us there to give us the summary so far. Well, with that in mind, we are going to go into our main event for today, which is going to be the cast of KittyKat Crusaders versus Divison 3. I'm going to keep saying that wrongly. And joining me for that, it's Aviator.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the Monday Mega Matchup, or Monday Matchup Mega, name to be confirmed.
The 3 M's. Not to be
The
confused with
3 Ms.
Memeldor's Meme Machines, of course.
Or Manic Mondays.
Just another Manic Monday. Exactly.
See, do you know what, Kharis? I knew you'd do that to me. I built it up, and there it was.
I mean, maybe I'm not sure if it's legal for us to sing that. Don't sue us, people who sang that. Anyway, I mean, so first of all, we're going to, just to summarize again for viewers who just tuned in, what is this event going to be? It's going to be a weekly cast every Monday at 8 o'clock in the evening, Central European time, here on the Heroes Lounge channel. And we're going to have a range of different casters, a range of different teams, a range of different divisions. Some would say we've got a range of different divisions tonight, because we're starting up with a Division 2 match in which one of the teams is called Division 3. Which I think is a mistype, but they seem to have embraced it, because if you look at their logo, it's they've got the mistype included there.
Yeah, I think they've fully embraced the either a misspelt name or it's a planned meme. So I'm going to go with planned meme, not mistype, I think.
Planned meme, yes. They are the new meme machines, perhaps. The new meme machines. Well, I'll tell you a bit of background about them, because as I understand it, they are a new team to Heroes Lounge, and they've formed from like the Dota players. They've been playing Dota, and then they decided to come play HOTS, and they wanted that competitive edge that you only really get in Heroes Lounge. The true nature of Heroes of the Storm is to play that 5v5 high level play. And so they've joined Heroes Lounge. Obviously, they thought they were going to be placed in Division 3, I guess, hence the name. But they've not ended up in Division 3. They ended up in Division 2, because I guess they had fairly high MMRs.
When you're too good and your meme fails. but we're just waiting for the teams to sort out their bans, etc.
Yes, so I think we are. I don't know exactly what the situation is with that, but I will tell you a little bit more about KittyKat Crusaders while we wait for the teams to actually sort that stuff out. But KittyKat Crusaders, by contrast with Divison 3, yes, I'm still learning to overcome my natural reaction to say Division, but KittyKat Crusaders are an established team. They've been around in Lounge for a few seasons now. I don't know how many seasons exactly, but it's more than 2. And last season, they actually made it to the Legendary Cup, which is the kind of the playoff section, for those of you who don't know, for Divisions 2 and 3. And I believe they made it to the top 8. Oh, I could be wrong. I might be wrong about that. But they've certainly, an established team who are used to playing together. Now, they have, I think, made a couple of roster adjustments. I might be able to get that information up on screen. No, that's not worked. But they have made a few roster adjustments, but they're still, the core of the team is definitely there, and they are an experienced team. So I guess it's slightly intimidating for Division 3 coming into this. But I did speak to Potato, the captain of Division 3, earlier, and they said they don't know really what to expect because, yes, they're going up against more experienced teams, but they're pretty convinced that they're decent players and they're confident in their abilities, and so they really want to bring the fight to the Crusaders.
That's good to hear from them. I guess from a new team, that's exactly the attitude you want. You don't want one sort of scared of facing the sort of more veteran team. So good for them.
Yeah, and I mean it is of course like I say, can be intimidating, but obviously ultimately a team, the experience isn't everything, and teams can just play on raw mechanical skill. And we've certainly seen, particularly in the lower divisions in previous seasons, some of the teams which are not, come in as new entrants and totally blow other teams out of the water just through, the skills they brought and the practice. But I mean, it is difficult. I guess not having any information not having any information on Division 3 so far, it's difficult for us to make a call. But I mean, I guess KittyKat Crusaders are probably coming in the default favorite just because we know more about them, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But as you say, if Division 3 have been a group of friends playing for a long time together or something, that always has merit as well and value in that they've played with each other. They might just be new to entering Lounge, but actually they might be a well-oiled group of 4 players rather.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that they may have brought along with them from their experience in Dota. The unspeakable MOBA. Their experience playing together in Dota is they may, they'll probably know. I mean, obviously, it's a very different pace of game, and there are different ideas in Heroes of the Storm. So what we might see actually is very strong mechanical skill. This is something you often see from players who come from Dota. Strong mechanical skill, good team coordination, but maybe less of a strategic understanding of Heroes of the Storm and where to, when to go for those win conditions, when to pull the trigger, and in the game. And that can be really, the difference between winning or losing.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, sometimes game knowledge may have an impact, but in MOBAs generally, your mechanical skill can carry to a certain extent as well in games. I don't know how applicable that is to Heroes of the Storm though, because team fighting doesn't necessarily give you that huge advantage that it does in other MOBAs. So Heroes is a bit more macro based, I think, than other MOBAs. You don't get rewarded as much for kills, so we'll have to see how that impacts them.
I think it's less mechanically focused. Let's say it's more certainly. But I think team fight coordination is a big deal in Heroes of the Storm, and rather than individual mechanics as such. I think we're getting. I was going to say I think we're getting some map bans in, but I think we might be talking about something completely different. There's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams playing right now, and we're just trying to keep an eye on which teams are doing which. thing. But yeah, so that is definitely how the feelings are going to be for Division 3 coming into this. In terms of statistics, though, so far, like I said, neither team has played a match yet this season. And the other thing is, every team changes every season, and certainly the feelings of a division and what it means to be in Division 2 changes every season as well. So far, as I understand it, only only 3 matches have been played in Division 2 so far. So we've had Stunned in Heaven versus Sauna Tent, where Sauna Tent won 2-0. Hocus Pocus Marauders gets Focus, which is a name I do love, and I've scrimmed against them actually for my own team. They've won 2-0 against Previous and Friends, and Hippopotamus won 2-0 against 21 Esports. So very much we're at a stage where the division is still wide open for either of these teams to take. So with that in mind, I'm still just waiting to see if these teams are getting any. If these teams are doing anything. Aviator appears to have frozen on screen. That's not gone well. Okay, so let's gloss over that. While we'll just try and fix Aviator's face for a second, but I think I've lost him. The quality production, of course, for the first cast of the season. Right, we'll try and fix that in a second. But I think definitely what we do know is that this match is coming up shortly. The teams are here, so the match is going to happen. Like I say, between KittyKat Crusaders and Divison 3. I will just replace Aviator temporarily with a picture of Aviator here. He's not actually here just now, but we're trying to get him back on the line. In terms of what's going to happen, like we say, we don't know, and we're still waiting for the teams to get their map bans underway. I'm not sure what the delay is with that, and we'll get you some information as soon as we know the map bans here. We'll tell you at home. Again, sorry for the delay. By the way, one thing Poppin didn't mention in his summary is the roundup from the Mythic Championship in NA, which took place last night, where Percival Power Party absolutely dominated, winning the upper bracket very comfortably, and then proceeding to win the grand final 3-0 against 5 Euro Gaming. Congratulations to Percival Power Party, showing themselves to be the most dominant team in Heroes Lounge North America. So that is definitely an incredible performance from them. I'll just seeing if we can get Aviator back on the line momentarily. Sorry, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the teams just now. I think we might have Aviator back. Question mark. Still working on that. Yes, so what was I saying? Oh, Aviator's back.
I apologise for that, everybody. It seems that when you live in the middle of nowhere, in a place called Wales, a tiny little country attached to England, your internet drops. Maybe a sheep's eaten it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's your defence. But what's happened with the teams? Because I'll be honest, I still have no idea what they are doing.
So the bans I got it worked out was that we had KittyKat Crusaders banned out Dragonshire and Volskaya, and Divison 3 banned out Dragonshire, Eltrack Pass and Garden, and we're going to Battlefield of Eternity, but I haven't seen a link being posted yet.
Hmm.
So I will just whisper.
Yeah, let's try and find out what's going on. The crowd are delighted to see that your face is coming back on screen,
Shortly.
and it's back right now.
Wait, which was the photo that you used of me, by the way? Pog picture of Aviator. Did you
Um,
use the disco one?
it was the disco one from like from many years ago.
Oh dear God, yes, that's one of my favourite photos I think of me from all time. That was for a stag do, or for other people, they call it a bachelor party in Butlins. In Minehead. For any UK viewers watching it, you know Minehead Butlins is a glorious and very sophisticated 5-star location. Maybe not.
Maybe.
Other Butlins do exist as well.
And other, I don't know what you would call it, discount holiday parks are available as well. If you're in the south, maybe you go to Pontins instead of Butlins. Anyway, that's all good stuff.
Maybe I'll create the lobby for them. Maybe this will.
But I think they are making it now. I think bear in mind that one of these teams is new. To explain to viewers, one of these teams is new to Heroes Lounge, and in fact, in general to Heroes the Storm, and so creating a lobby can maybe be a bit confusing for them.
I think they thought it was the casters to responsibility, but
it was a long time, many years ago.
It used to be. It did.
But frankly, my ability to fix to create lobbies whilst fixing you breaking off the screen and stuff like that is a bit beyond me.
I mean, you could have multitasked, Kharis. Come on now.
Possibly. So
here we go.
Sorry, I think you were going to tell us about the map bans a minute ago, and
I was. And then so map bans we had KittyKat Crusaders. I won't say the abbreviation. Banning out Dragonshire and Volskaya Foundry. And Divison 3 banned out Ultrac Pass and Garden.
Ultrac Pass and Garden. Garden gets banned a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, and also, interestingly, Ultrac Pass and Garden, I'd say, are a little bit more sort of macro-present maps, particularly Garden, anyway. I mean, there's so many camps on that map that I know I personally hate playing it, but a lot of some people do enjoy playing it. It did actually get played in Lounge last season, so some people like it, I guess. But you get weird map hero picks potentially on that map as well. You get like TLV tend to come out a little bit more if you have TLV players. So
yeah, and I think it's just a bit unsettling to people, especially because the other thing is you can't play in ranked and it's difficult to practice there. I think we're actually. Sorry, what did you say?
It's not in the ranked rotation? I thought it was.
I think it was for a while, and then they removed it, and they set. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, viewers in chat, tell me. Tell me in the chat if I'm wrong about everything. So we will be going into the lobby shortly, I believe, into the draft of the first game, which will be on Battlefield of Eternity. Now that was picked by Divison 3, which means, of course, that KittyKat Crusaders will have the first pick on that map. Now, what do we expect to get on Battlefield of Eternity?
You tend to have two sort of compositions. Well, but here we go, straight in.
Draft in game number 1 in this best of 3 series.
So, as I was trying to say, Chris, you tend to get two compositions. Either you get sort of a kill comp or a race comp in this sort of thing anyway. And your race comps could be, things like Valor, are sort of high in the meta at the moment as well. Here it's Hanzo. Hanzo's sort of fallen off the meta since his change, but does tend to still appear occasionally. Alarak as well, very strong on this map. With his telekinesis, can push you into the immortal stuns. ETC as well, one of the sort of stronger tanks at the moment. And also Garrosh as well. In any 2-lane map, I feel like Garrosh makes a bit more of an appearance than usual.
Yeah, I I think as well, he's just really good in those kind of because for one thing, Gareth doesn't really have any wave clear, and when you don't have many waves to clear, a lack of wave clear isn't a big concern. By the way, just to interrupt your analysis for a second, we do have betting available for points, virtual points. You can type !bet A and number of points if you think KittyKat Crusaders will win game number 1, !bet B and number of points for Divison 3 if you think they will win the game number 1. And if you want to know how many points you got, type !points. You get points for watching and points for following. So, quote unquote, smash that follow button. ETC first pick, as you predicted.
I was going to say, yeah, ETC extremely strong on the map, and KittyKat Crusaders have played this, but as you say, they've had a few roster changes this season, so we'll see how that plays out in the whether it's in their favour or not. Because looking at the last season, they did play the hero 6 times and had a 50% win rate. But on the other side, I like this pickup. We get a Li Ming and a Blaze.
I love Blaze. I think he's I think he's a great main tank, a decent solo laner. I mean, tell me what your thoughts are about that Blaze pickup, though.
No, I like it. And as you say, typically you tend to see Blaze in the off lane, but recently I feel like he's got a sort of strong contention for main tank as well. That jet propulsion is a great engage. It's almost like a Hanzo mini Dragon Arrow, essentially, that group AoE stun. But on the other side, we get Reyna and Rhaegar. So we do get the Woofer coming out.
A subwoofer.
Should be bonus points for Greymane and Rhaegar on the same team, I feel. Should get some sort of passive boost there, I think.
The Wolf Aura.
The Woofers, yeah.
The Woof is on fire.
The Woof is on fire. Anyway, so third ban coming out here, we do see the Hanzo. So Chromie being banned as well on this map since her latest rework. She's got a lot of race as well with that with the triple Q, which tends to be picked up at level 1 now.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot here. I think the Chromie ban makes sense, as you say. But by the way, the draft is still wide open. In terms of mages, you might struggle on the side of KittyKat here. Like, yes, they've got the Reyna, who's decent for the race. But I think if there's a Li Ming here, as we say from Harvey, maybe to pick up they've got the Sylvanas there for the push if they get it. But if they finish that off with an Artanis, maybe. What do you think about Artanis in this map? Is he a bit dreadful?
I think Artanis is one of those heroes that you might win the lane, but you tend to lose the game with playing him, because I just feel that he does not offer a great utility. I mean, the swaps, as long as you play around the swap, you tend to normally end up getting killed as well, right? But as you said, picking up the mages here, Jaina, one of the only ones left besides Kel'Thas, and I think Jaina's better on this map than KT. But what we're going to see last here for the offlane, Imperius could be quite strong.
Oh, there you go. Artanis not giving a toss about what we say, and going for that Artanis. Now,
do we see Blaze main tank, or are we going to see something like a Garrosh being picked up here? Garrosh into Jaina is a little bit Monka Christ, but Morgana's is still open as well.
Wow, they've left it. I mean, I don't know what the answer is there. Is that?
I still don't know if that's main tank Arthas or main tank Blaze.
No, nor do I. Yeah, I think it's still completely open.
Do you know what I would have liked to see actually from the other side, from Battlefield, from KittyKat Crusaders, is if they'd have picked up the Arthas last pick instead of Artanis. I mean, you get the extra slow with Reyna. You can use your army to block the Li Ming spells. It's quite good just to run them down. It controls Blaze a bit better as well. I feel like they missed a trick there really with that.
Yeah, I think what I like about that Blaze Arthas though is you can sort of choose who's engaging. Like, it doesn't, whether one's main tank or the other one's, or the other one is. It doesn't matter really. Like, Arthas can hard engage if he goes into Dragosa, or he can, if he gets close enough to catch a root.
Don't say that word.
No, but hang on, because if that's a Blaze main tank,
I know.
There's Dragosa could be value.
Yeah,
but with the if you push that
well,
immortal. Oh, you mean it's kind of double putting?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't really need that. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair analysis. It probably will be Army of the Dead, given that. However, we're going to have to find out as we go into game number 1 in this best of 3 on our Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchup. And on the left, in blue, it's KittyKat Crusaders with Darken on that Rhaegar, Spilo Willy on ETC, Mono258 on Reyna, Oni Knight on Jaina, and Flyman on Artanis.
And in the right side, fighting out the red corner for Divison 3 in their Heroes Lounge debut, we have Blaze main tank played by Potato, Li-Ming on Harvey, Li-Ming played by Harvey, Taronda played by Alucard, Sylvanas played by Beretta, and Arthas played by Black Jesus.
Yeah.
We are straight away. We're going to see some Sylvanas cheese coming out here. Oh, yeah. No, there's the trait being activated. So they're just going to take a tower here very quickly.
Yeah, they're going to push straight away there. I like that zoning oil from Blaze, just to slow anyone who comes in. They didn't actually manage to get the tower though, and Arthas and ETC are going to trade blows on the bottom. By the way, that's Frostmourne Hungers from Arthas, as you would suspect from a solo laner. So yeah, as you suggested, it is the Blaze on the main tank, Arthas on the off lane, and that Arthas is going to hope to ramp up those D stacks on the Frostmourne Hungers when he lanes against Artanis.
Yeah. Also, interestingly, Blaze picking up the new habits at level 1. I think this is the sort of better Blaze talent, gives you that sort of self-cleanse, but we see a lot of lockdown coming here onto Harvey. Harvey does teleport out, and they do try and get the return, but both teams should be able to walk away. Nice coordination there. As soon as sort of one mini engage there, everyone just burst their cooldowns just to try and drop that kill.
Yeah, so this is something you see at these higher divisions of Heroes Lounges. The teams are really good at blowing up a single target, focusing a target after the CC comes in from the tank. Now, we talked about the new habits from Blaze. I think, actually, I'm a big fan of actual neural stim pack on Blaze main tank. Oh, they go in!
Yeah. And Reyna, Reyna does fall. That gives Li-Ming one reset here. Just teleport in there. You need to remember, she doesn't have Calamity until level 7.
Yeah, but sometimes there's that kind of instinctive muscle memory, isn't it? When you're
absolutely.
A Li-Ming. Well, hang on, they're thinking about contesting this. Jaina throws in a few spells, puts a bit of damage into Harvey, who sits back for now. Should be able to clear this camp safely enough, as they are 4v3, and they secure it long before Reyna arrives.
And that's brilliant, again, coordination by the red team. As soon as they get that one pickup, just instantly take the camp. So not wasting their slight advantage there whatsoever.
No, absolutely not. And they will be able to clear both teams clearing the lane pretty easily. Remember that now, of course, the XP changes are live. This is like all Heroes Lounge matches played on the live patch, so the teams will have to pick up the XP off the floor. It's not just
of course. It's loads, isn't it?
Passive soaking. As both teams are securing their bruiser camp, by the way.
I haven't played on this patch that much, yeah. And we do see response here for the blue team, taking up theirs as well. But it seems opting for the early cap though, so typically you want to sort of delay it and cap it at around the sort of 15-second mark, and then it'll push, usually with the wave as well. And it gives you the chance to, maybe while the camp's pushing, you can choose whether to race for the halftime.
Yeah, usually you see it kind of done one of two ways. Either people, oh hello, is this a gank onto Flyman? He's been rooted and stunned by Arthas and Blaze. Massive lockdown there. Taronda throws the stun, but doesn't even need it because, of course, Artanis is already dead.
But we are going to see the race going over to the blue team. I'm not sure who has the better race, actually. I think without Artanis, it goes clearly to the red team.
Yeah, when Artanis is dead, the red team Division 3 will secure that first half. But they've only... Actually, no. They're actually 14 points behind. Now, of course, they were later to get there. But now, of course, the Artanis is arriving on the left-hand side. So this looks like it's going to go over to the blue team first. But it's hard to say. Numbers are ticking down. 3,000 apiece, 2,000 apiece, 1,000. And in fact... Ooh. It was the red team who secured it with a 318 hit point advantage.
Yeah, I think Arthas didn't really join for the race either, just before that the halftime. So I think he had an impact there.
Yeah, especially those.
No, we just see a 5-man commitment. Arthas is rotating up. There we go. I thought for a moment they were going to commit 5, and at this stage in the game, you might question that.
You might, as there's a stun onto Spieler Willy, who should be able to walk away because the Blaze stun doesn't quite connect from Potato. Yeah, I mean. You are absolutely right. I think one of the reasons teams might want to do a 5-man push is because they have that Sylvanas. But again, the slide onto Sylvanas. Beretta falls down to half HP but jumps out.
Yeah, using the E there to escape. Typically, Sylvanas' build, I just want to mention it quickly, we do see Overwhelming Affliction coming in at level 1. You don't usually see that build. You either see Q or the stacking W at level 1. So I'm interested by that. It gives a sort of 1% of the maximum health as damage.
And is that something you think makes sense here, or is that a bit surprising to you?
I've played Sylvanas occasionally, but I've never picked that talent actually.
I think the idea behind it, if I can guess, is that they have got so many slows on their team, the Blaze and the Arthas. Like Blaze and Arthas are constantly putting out ridiculous slows.
Yeah.
By the way, Blaze may well take combustion. That's a common thing even on main
Yeah.
tank Blaze.
Especially when you pair it with new habits. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think in that case, think of the damage that Sylvanas is going to be putting out with that level 1 talent. It could be devastating against those frontliners, ETC, and particularly Artanis.
Yeah, we see possession as well. I tend to like Merc Queen on this. I think it. Oh no, I think they reworked it, didn't they? Merc Queen used to damage the Immortal as well, but I think they finally fixed it to monsters.
I believe Merc Queen does not affect the Immortal.
Because it did used to, even though it never specified him a talent, it did.
Well, she's gone for possession anyway in this case, so that's going to be just to provide a little bit more nudge on those waves when they need it. I think that both teams are just going to posture around this top Immortal. A lovely stun onto Blaze with the Tyrant stun to follow up. Where's he gone? The cleanse comes out, but it's just not enough. ETC's already dead, and they're chasing, looking for Rhaegar.
Slows there as well, and they do get the kill there. So that's 2 kills going down. Li Ming trying to throw it in all, but it doesn't connect. That was brilliant execution there, and you can see the power of Li Ming when you've got that crowd control, a lockdown on a target with Tyrande stun, and oof, Li Ming just blows them up.
Yeah, and of course with that they get the first half of the Immortal fairly comfortably, I would say, and they'll probably get the second half just as easily as they're going to start to work on it now. Artanis is looking to create a bit of a distraction. Can he buy enough time for his teammates to arrive? Goes in, looks for a swap, but has to start being careful now.
Yeah, red team playing it carefully here, just backing out slowly. It's exactly what they should do. Oh, we see the damage coming out into Reyna. Blaze Star's into 2 here, but needs to be careful, gets swapped back in.
He's going to sit back. Tyrant stun comes out, hits onto 2. This is nice zoning here from the blue team, but it's gradually getting chipped down by that Li Ming poke coming in again and again, and nobody is working on the other side of the Immortals. And that means that eventually Li Ming's just going to chip this down if this keeps up like this, and there she goes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the power of Li Ming on this map as well, is that you can just sit back and just poke away at that Immortal.
And it's level 10s as well coming in for Division 3, as here in this Division 2 matchup against KittyKat Crusaders. As
Is
they
it
get.
going to be Syndragosa?
It is! It absolutely is! We talked about maybe it doesn't synergize well with the Sylvanas, who's already got that trait value, but you know he has gone for that Syndragosa. And bear in mind what we just said about that Sylvanas level 1 talent. Now it makes even more sense. Blaze hasn't picked a choice though yet. Is he going Combustion, or is he going for the bunker that might be able to save a teammate if they can use it? Well, it is bunker in this game.
It is bunker, okay. So, we only have one sort of questionable talent. We see a charge going in again onto the ETC here. The Satchel comes out and it's good, with the Wailing Arrow just not quite enough to finish him off here. You see he slides back in. Needs to be careful though, he's a bit on an island here. As you see Cleanse coming out, but it's not enough, and Li Ming gets the first kill.
I mean, a very confident slide in there from Spieler Willy, who, you know, I think when you're an ETC against that much CC and the burst damage Tyrande and Li Ming can put out, you've got to be a bit careful.
Yeah, I agree. We do see a full commitment to the sort of AA build on Arthas there. As Syndragosa comes out here, we are going to try and get the pick onto Artanis. Root comes out, Tyrande stun as well, and that should be, and that's a dead Artanis. It gives a Li Ming reset as well. Can they get more? They want more. They're chasing down Rhaegar, but Rhaegar's able to jump away.
Yeah, but the Syndragosa is still disabling this fort. They might be able to get it. No, they're going to sit back for now. We're afraid of a mosh pit because, of course, that disable on the fort's going to end momentarily. There it goes. And so Division 3 sensibly retreating for now, showing a very sharp level of game awareness for this new team to Heroes Lounge.
Yeah, I'm impressed so far with their play. They're sort of showing discipline as well, right? A lot of teams would have tried to overstay there, maybe overcommit for the Rhaegar, then try and retreat into an active fort and, you know, potentially throw their advantage.
Yeah, they're just playing solid. They're not doing anything particularly flashy. They're just playing solid. Find a target, blow them up, get a little bit of advantage, turn it into an immortal, edge out the map, and not do anything reckless while they don't have a talent advantage.
Yeah, they want this fort as well, I think, but they should go and take the camp. Li Ming throws a couple of orbs out. A couple of orbs, one orb rather. And we just see dominance at level 4 coming out from Li Ming. Lately, there's sort of a lot of debate between the level 4 orb talent, which recently got buffed. You see a lot more of that nowadays, and I'm not sure between dominance or that talent.
I think that if you're not going to have a lot of heroes in front of you, if you're not going to have a Zeratul and a Greymane to deal with, I believe in that orb talent. I think it gives you a lot of poke value, and particularly here on Battlefield of Eternity, where we know Li Ming is going to sit back and try to poke the Immortal when the enemy team's defending it. Hello, are you going for a mosh pit?
No, as you see, he's on an island though. Unfortunately, Blind comes out here. Trying to say ETC is still falling quite low here. Ancestral comes out. And Syndragosa comes out as well. As you see, Blaze dropping the bunker. Wailing Arrow comes out as well. A lot of cooldowns being used here. Still no kill on both sides.
Both teams got away with murder there. Like the confidence of both teams' tanks there to go in, try and catch and engage, but then still get out with their lives shows the strength of their supports as well as much as anything else. Level 13s are in now though for Divison 3, who can start to pressure here using that talent advantage. Li Ming going for that E talent, the Illusionist, that gives her more teleports when she needs them. Blaze going for the reduced spell power on Suppressive, but here they go with the roots onto Reyna. They can't quite catch it though. Spieler Willy goes in, tries to create a bit of CC. They're chasing Harvey's own Spieler Willy for now. ETC will sit back.
Yeah, I don't think they can go in without the Jaina damage there to follow it up though. So the ETC slide maybe to try and peel for his team, but that was a risky peel attempt there.
We haven't seen a mosh pit yet though. We haven't seen a mosh pit. He's watching and waiting for those cooldowns, and when he gets when Spieler Willy gets the initiation and no one's there to interrupt, he will press that mosh pit, and it could be game changing.
Swap attempt there, just missing.
Yeah, a slight moment of calm for both of these teams. Blaze just posturing around. Arthur wants to find the flank. Syndragosa not up for another 18 seconds. They can just wait though. ETC slides in, catches the mosh, but not immediately interrupted. Now he's going to start getting hurt. Blaze goes into the bunker, gets himself 25 armor. Look how exposed Tyrande was though to that Artanis and Jaina combo, which was absolutely tearing us pieces. Black Jesus, can you hide? Not from the Duke of Wellington, the Water Elemental itself. The Duke of Wellington secures another kill.
Water Elemental just running it down here, and that should be an Immortal going over to KittyKat Crusaders here. Their first Immortal of the game. Good, and their first kills as well. 6 kills to 2. As you said, the Tyrande just slightly isolated, and good capitalization by KittyKat Crusaders, making sure that they got the kill.
It was almost like a bait and switch where ETC slid in with the mosh pit, and I think he knew the mosh pit was not going to last forever, but the idea was to draw fire to himself, and in the meantime Artanis went, "Hello Tyrande, I'm running at you, what are you going to do about it?" And there was not much she could, especially with the slows coming out from Jaina and her friend the Duke of Wellington.
Yeah,
Sylvanas, got to be careful.
But ETC going for a mosh pit there with all the cooldowns still available as well. I feel it's a little bit ambitious because you've got Tyrande stun, you've got Li Ming, Wave of Force, you've got Wailing Arrow, so lots of interrupts on the side of the red team. ETC slides in again, just looking to posture aggressively here. Red team playing it well, giving the fort, not opting to overcommit too much here.
Oh, that orb. Yeah, Oni Knight just lost half of his HP. That's unpleasant to deal with. But this Immortal has still got half of HP left and is pushing onto these towers. Can they get the keep here? I think not. Sylvanas is trying to zone as much as possible.
ETC slides in again here. Oh, I feel like ETC is going to get pushed here. Syndragosa comes out. They want the chase here. Ancestral comes out. Good knockback from ETC. But Arthur's falling alone meanwhile. Arthur's could fall, but Arthur's retreats.
Mosh pit's up in 5 seconds, by the way. ETC, if the enemy team chases too hard, Spieler Willy could turn this with the mosh pit, but Jaina's run away. ETC's completely on his own. In comes the Tyrande stun. There's no cleanse available. It's getting chucked down by Sylvanas because of that the slow bonus damage that we talked about, that level 1 talent. And Spieler Willy will get away, but I mean, that could have been...
Artanis and Jaina just said, no, we're out. we don't care about the fight. We're out, guys. We said to come back, so it's up to you now if you die.
I know, I was getting excited. I was like, is it going to be a mosh pit? And Jaina was like, no, what are you talking about? I'm going home.
And Artanis is like, there's a camp at bot. I want that camp.
And I'll tell you what, that kind of disengage and go and soak approach is getting them an XP lead here. They are now and just knocking on the door of level 16 KittyKat Crusaders. Having suffered a fairly punishing early game, they're now starting to look a bit more in control here.
Yeah, you look at damage quickly, and you see Sylvanas topping it at the moment with Jaina. Sylvanas and Li Ming doing the work here for the red team. Jaina and Reyna.
Artanis, sorry to interrupt, but there is a potential gank here onto Artanis, but Blaze doesn't quite catch the stun. Flyman tries to dodge it, but runs into more trouble, perhaps. Perhaps the prevention is worse than the cure. Flyman, no! Can you get out of there? The mosh pit comes in, though, this time not interrupted onto Arthas. Reyna can't do enough damage onto Black Jesus. The Zoning Blizzard comes out onto Blaze and Tehran. They have to sit back for now, and Arthas gets away.
Again, cooldown's been used on both sides. Wailing Arrow is still up there, but I think it was on cooldown just before the mosh pit. So it wasn't used. I'm not sure though. If it was up, that's a questionable holdback on the ultimate. But Flyman got away there, and that was a big commitment really to try and kill the Artanis.
Yes, yeah, and I credit to Flyman for duking all of that, because it looked like he was in so much trouble. And he's managed to not only, save his life, but also then go and clear that bruiser camp top that Division 3 had pushing.
But level 16 on the side of red team here, it's a bit of a spike here, because you do get Mirror Ball for Li Ming, you get that Juggernaut plating on Blaze, and obviously Sylvanas gets the self-heal from Life Drain as well.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure about the level 1 here. I think this is the build that you either go W or Q with, so I think Q would give you the auto tap. But we do see the full commitment here to the Immortal. EC tries to knock in, but brilliant knockback there by the ETC. Syndragosa being popped, so red team trying to commit to this, blind coming out as well. Spieler Willy just doing his job as ETC, tanking, sliding on Arthas.
Oh, the swap attempting. Flyman's been ancestral though for massive value, because now he can keep going just all over Sylvanas and Li Ming. But no, he's starting to pull down, but there's shield battery value. Flyman's still alive. How is Flyman still alive here on Beretta? Finally goes down with the help of Li Ming, but at what cost? 3 members are already on the deck. It's going to be a 4th. It's 4 for 1.
How did Darken live?
Well, he had 50 more HP than he needed.
I think he just got the clutch last Q there that just that saved his life, because the Li Ming, all she wanted was that one reset, and if Flyman died there, that's a different fight. But that shield battery, as you said, that sheer value from that.
Yeah.
This could be a keep here with this Immortal.
I should clarify. It's Shield Surge is the name of the level 4 talent.
Okay.
It's when you're below a certain threshold, you get like bonus shield, and it's just like you saw the burst of shield that Artanis got when he was really low, and that would allowed him to just keep going on for another few seconds against Li Ming. That stopped her resetting, which she could have then used to kill Rhaegar and maybe chain some kills off that.
Yeah, this keeps just being absolutely melted here. So KittyKat Crusaders, you should decide what you're doing, and they are sensibly, in my opinion, retreating here. They've got the keep, don't want to overstay their welcome, and they retreat.
Yeah, they're consolidating. Both teams playing a cautious first game of the Heroes Lounge Season 11 here, as neither team want to throw needlessly on a failed core attempt or anything like that. Seeing the teams play fairly cautiously. Neither team level 20, so this is going to have to be the moment here for Div 3, where they go in looking for this fight as Blaze is trying to catch ETC. Oh, the phase melt! That's 3 times now, thrice denied here by Spieler Willy's face melt slides. Catches Arthas.
You see Blaze going in here though. Unstoppable being popped already. Syndragosa being popped as well. Wailing Arrow into the backline here, but Blaze taking a lot of damage. Does drop the bunker, and Satchel comes out, and it's good. Saves the Artanis here. When they come out of the bunker, it's going to be difficult. EC still has Mosh Pit available as well, and that's going to be Sylvanas dead, Blaze dead, and they want more. Arthas is definitely dead here, just trying to create some space so that the Li Ming and Toronto can escape at least. But these late game fights, KittyKat Crusaders are just all over it.
Can we talk about the God swap? Because Flyman did a God swap on Tehran, through 5 members, found the healer, and then Tehran was so exposed, eventually she didn't die, but the fact is, she had to concentrate on getting out alive rather than healing her teammates, who were being punished by the rest of the Crusaders, and it looks like that might have won them this first game here on Battlefield of Eternity.
Absolutely, get 3 kills in the late game. That's going to be GG. Going over to KittyKat Crusaders. Strong showing though from Divison 3. They had a really good early game.
Yeah.
Seem to have lacked the sort of late game pressure.
Great play from the KittyKat Crusaders though to recover. And of course, an Artanis is more impactful in a late game than an early game. What I like about Flyman's Artanis is he managed to avoid getting tangled up with Arthas, because that's the thing you dread as an Artanis against Arthas is that Arthas is just going to stick to you, and you won't be able to move or do anything, and it's going to be really unpleasant. Flyman always managed to find the right angle in that fight, so great Artanis play there.
Yeah, the Artanis did absolutely get value. So we do see first pick going over to the Divison 3, fighting in Division 2.
And what map do you expect will be picked up by the KittyKat Crusaders then?
KittyKat Crusaders. I mean, I'm not sure. Last season they picked Battlefield of Eternity 3 times. They picked Towers of Doom 4 times, and they've picked Infernal Shrines 5 times. But they're all with like a sub 40% win rate, so I'm not sure. Sub 30% win rate, sorry. But Shrines is always a sort of a more fan favorite. But maybe they will go to Towers of Doom for this against this newer team.
Yeah, I mean, I think Towers of Doom games are great for spectators because they always have these epic comebacks. I don't know. We'll have to see how those teams want to play it. I mean, I don't know what the statistics are either on KittyKat Crusaders and how they've done on maps historically, because obviously that is a big thing. Is they're an established team. They've got their own ideas of what works for them. So, for example, if you look at their Season 10 statistics, actually, their most picked map was Towers of Doom, but they didn't actually do so well on it statistically. So, hard to say what's going to happen just now. Do we have any news from the teams yet? I think
we don't. Just giving a gentle little nudge just to inquire.
That's fair enough.
On this end.
Just a reminder for anyone who's just tuned in, you're watching the first of Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchups. I'm Kharis. And that's Aviator.
Jazz hands.
And we're going to have, well, not just us, but other Heroes Lounge casters are going to have a cast here on the Heroes Lounge main channel every Monday at 8 p.m. CET. Make sure you follow the channel up there if you want to get notified when we go live for those casts. And hopefully we'll have other exciting content to include as well.
Still waiting on the one team. I seem to have pinged the wrong member.
Yes, I just saw that. Yeah, so it's difficult to say what went wrong for Div 3 there, because I mean it looked like they looked so strong in that early game, and that Blaze Tyrande lockdown combo looked really nice. I sort of got the impression that the initiative just got seized by KittyKat Crusaders, and it seems like when Div 3 were starting the fight, when they were going in with that Blaze and getting Tyrande, they were winning the fights. But when Artanis or ETC were making the calls about when to engage, when KittyKat Crusaders were going in on their terms, then Div 3 panicked a little bit. They didn't quite go together. They got split up. Tyrande went in one direction, maybe Sylvanas another. And I got the impression that KittyKat Crusaders kind of took control of the team fights a bit. And that was the key to victory.
Absolutely. I think also the Ancestrals, you've got to talk about the Rhaegar play, because the Ancestrals were so clutch sometimes, or just preemptively as well, right? They got the lockdown, so instead of trying to cleanse it out like he had been doing previously, just throwing out the Ancestral and then playing around their cooldowns. Then ETC can turn, or Tannis could turn, and just get that re-engaged then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the cleansers as well as the Ancestrals, just because that lockdown comp was such an important part of Div 3 strategy, the cleanse being so crucial was being so crucially timed was important for KittyKat Crusaders.
We're still waiting.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the teams. I mean, right, going into game 2, what is it from your point of view that Div 3 have to do differently?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. It depends on what map as well, right? Because I think their team fighting was okay. It was just sort of later game, they weren't getting as much value. So I think they need to maybe ban out ETC as well, right? I think the ETC.
Oh, I appear to have lost you again, Aviator. That's unfortunate.
Really,
Oh, are you back?
I didn't leave from my end.
Sorry, we lost you for a little while. Sorry, could you just repeat what you said about ETC?
I mean, it was such a long conversation. It's gonna be difficult to remember, but I'll try, Kharis. So, all I said was that the ETC played extremely well, and particularly on that map as well. So maybe they need to ban out the ETC. Even though the mosh pits didn't get value, it was just the constant slides, the constant knockbacks against the Blaze main tank as well. That really hurt them, I think.
Well, I've got news for you. Is that the news is that for game number 2, KittyKat Crusaders have chosen to go to Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, I'm already in the lobby.
Well, it's news for the viewers then.
It's news for the viewers. Yes, so Infernal Shrines, pretty much a bit of a fan favourite really for Infernal Shrines as well, or a lounge favourite definitely anyway. I think it's the most played map across every single division every season, I think. That's right. Or at least the most active maps, whether that's banned or being played on as well.
Yeah, I believe you're right on that. And we will just wait for the teams to get loaded into Infernal Shrines here, but it's difficult to say how teams will play on Infernal Shrines because one of the reasons it's so popular is it's got a variety of different approaches you can take, and you don't have to go all in on the shrines. You can kind of ignore them in the early game and play a bit more macro focused, a bit more global, split push, or you can go all in on those shrines. You can see an Alex Straza, you can see a Kael'thas, you can see a Sonya who's great on those shrines. So the teams have got a few different ways that they can play this. So
yeah, absolutely. So, and also you get to see, maybe we'll see Kerrigan as well. Obviously her strongest map, and she tends to fall off a little bit. You don't tend to see her unless, but I think she's still really strong.
Yeah, I think Kerrigan here on the shrines is, I mean, you don't really see her anywhere else though. I think is a fair analysis.
Yeah, a couple of times you can see her on sort of. I've seen her a lot recently on Dragonshire, because you tend to sort of rotate between sort of bottom mid, so the sort of early kill potential that it can give you, and then sort of snowball from that perhaps. But yeah, typically you don't really see her outside of Infernal Shrines. Just waiting for both teams to become ready. I think we are.
Yes. I think, yeah, so we will go into game number 2 shortly, or draft number 2 shortly, I should say, on Infernal Shrines. Just as a reminder for anyone who doesn't know, Deathwing is banned in Heroes Lounge for the first 2 weeks after his release. So these teams cannot pick Deathwing, and so that's why you've not seen any banning or picking of Deathwing so far. So Chromie's getting banned again. Now is that because we saw it in Battlefield of Eternity as well? Is it target or is it just Chromie is a strong hero here as well as on Battlefield of Eternity?
I'm looking at last season. They only played it 4 times in season 10. So I'm not sure. Maybe they just hate playing against the sand monster, the gnome.
Yeah, I think she is an annoying hero. Well, look, there's the Kael'thas ban. Now we talked about the value of Kael'thas here on the shrines. So obviously, Div 3 saying we don't want to deal with that nonsense, that strong shrine clear and annoying AoE damage in the claustrophobic kind of shrine fight situation.
Yeah, maybe they want to take the ETC first pick here as well. If it's let through, and there it is, Johanna ban coming out, so ETC open.
I think you may well be right there. But given that they said they've just transferred from Dota, do you think they might have a slightly restricted hero pool? These teams, these players for Div 3.
It could be, absolutely. But no, there we are. There's the ETC first pick.
I think that makes sense. We talked about how impactful ATC was in game number 1. I'm going for...
So you see an early Andean pickup here, so prioritizing the Andean. So we're going to see here, is it going to be their tank player, or is it going to be a DPS? And it's going to be Mal'Ganis.
Now, Mal'Ganis is a tank that I'm surprised we didn't see in game number 1. Mal'Ganis is a tank who's really highly valued at the top level, but kind of perhaps surprisingly in lower leagues, he's basically doesn't seem to exist at all, and that's kind of quite surprising, right? Because he's so strong as a tank in the right hands, but he's difficult.
But there's a Valor Malfurions. This is such a strong opening draft here for Div 3.
Absolutely, I think this is kind of the dream draft you would want. I don't think they've done anything strange or unusual. They're not going for anything even slightly unorthodox. This is bread and butter stuff here from Div 3, picking up the Valor Malf
being
ITC.
banned out. So if we see a Jaina ban here, that's all the mages gone.
But they won't ban it. I think they're going to leave it open because you need. I guess they'll leave Jaina and Mephisto open. Take Mephisto or something for, because you need some kind of AOE mage for this objective, don't you?
I think so, but I think yes. I don't know what else they could pair with the Valor though, because obviously Valor is extremely strong on this map purely because you can constantly auto attack around the shrine. But we do see a Yorick ban. Obviously,
Yeah.
Yorick very strong on this map. The wave clear that he gives, and you can easily sort of solo the shrine, or the team can push or zone out and things like that. So I don't disagree with the ban.
What does that mean for, like, I mean, you're right, he is good for the shrines and he's good as an anti-tank hero. But I wonder if it means they're going for something specific. There's the Mephisto I was talking about, not going for the Jaina here on the side of KittyKat, leaving that open and going for the Mephisto themselves. Mephisto, don't forget, has just had a minor rework, and he's pretty strong now as well. As the Zarya.
Oh, it's a Zarya pickup. Zarya and Jaina. Is that Zarya offlane?
That's strange to me. Yeah, I mean, so
typically you want to see Zarya in a sort of triple melee comp with a hyper carry. You don't tend to see her as the sort of secondary bruiser. This makes it more like a solo tank ETC.
What about?
We're going to get here.
No, hang on. I've just thought of something absolutely crazy.
What's that?
What about? Oh, and there's an offlane Uther. That's delish. That's delish. But what about having the ETC in the early game being the offlane?
Oh.
And then you just put the Zarya, Jaina, Valor, Malf roaming in the fort, and they won't have any, any engage or lockdown. But they also won't be afraid of anybody because they've got the Zarya and the Malf. And I don't know. Is that crazy? I just. We'll see. I think viewers, by the way, you can still bet on the outcome of this game number 2 in this best of 3 Mega Monday matchup between KittyKat Crusader and Div 3. Exclamation mark bet A and a number of points for KittyKat. Bet B and a number of points for Div 3. I mean, my view is I'm a bit uneasy, as Aviator and I were just talking about that Zarya being effectively the only bruiser for Div 3, and normally I prefer to see Zarya go, in the 4 rotation and have another solo lane separately. But of course, it could mean that they've got something really special lined up. So it's difficult to say what these teams have planned.
But the offlane Uther though could be a nice pickup. I mean, Valor and Zarya want to have a sustained fight, right? Not a bursty fight. So the Uther potential here with the Anduin, I kind of like it. But let's see how it goes.
Indeed, we will as we go into game number 1 with Darkening on Anduin on Ignite on Hanzo Mono on Mephisto game number 2, you're right. Uther on Flyman on Uther, and Speeder Willy on the main tank Mal'Ganis. It is KittyKat Crusaders.
And in the other side, looking to even this game up, we have ETC played by Potato, Malfurion played by Alucard, Jaina played by Beretta, Harvey on the Valor, and Zarya played by Black Jesus.
So, straight away, these teams going for the mid, and their level 1 talents are in. Zarya going for Feel the Heat. Now, I could talk for 1 hour about this, because basically Feel the Heat is a talent which is... Why are you laughing?
Because I knew that was going to be coming. I knew it. As soon as I saw the pickup, I thought, wait for it, here it comes.
Feel the Heat is a talent that's really good against multiple melee heroes, which to be fair, there are 2 melees on the side of KittyKat, but actually the underrated Zarya talent is Together We Are Strong, which you put that on Valor, you've got a full energy bar. Doesn't matter what happens, bang, your energy bar is full, and the bonus damage you get from a full energy bar as ETC slides to safety is more than the 50% bonus you get from Feel the Heat. I know it's not as simple as that. Zarya wants to be stuck in the middle of things, wants to be doing those melee attacks, but Together We Are Strong is a massively underrated talent. Anyway, Zarya is not the only hero in the game, so I won't go on about that all day. And by the way, ETC went prog rock, so even more sustain attempts here for the Division 3 team. By the way, one reason I would say Feel Heat might make a lot of sense is because Zarya is in fact solo laning in the end. And in the solo lane, you're not going to get any value from Together We Are Strong. So, yes, there against Uther, it does make sense to have Feel the Heat.
Yeah, and interestingly as well, with the Zarya against Uther is, typically when you have an Uther offlane, you lack wave clear, right? But the fact that they could last pick this into knowing exactly what the draft was, it's very handy for them in that sense, because their lack of wave clear isn't too bad. I mean, as you see, ETC sliding down, the root follow-up as well onto Anduin. That's going to be a dead Anduin here. Voller vaulting in aggressively.
Yeah, one thing that we can definitely see potentially coming out from Divison 3, especially as the game goes on, is aggression. You put a shield on Avala, and she's not going to be too afraid. A shield and a pre-heal from Mouth, and she will step up and do some serious work. So that is something that they have to be careful about. Now, they of course have 2 supports on KittyKat Crusader to try and deal with that, but we'll see how that actually plays out. At the shrines, level 4s are in. Zarya going for I Am the Strongest. Again, a slightly unorthodox choice. Usually you see the movement speed or the extra...
The Give Me 20, is it?
Yeah, Give Me 20, yeah. So, but... yeah,
movement speed usually on an ETC, on a cow running at you at that pace, it's a bit scary.
Yeah, but not going for that now. So this Zarya obviously has... Black Jesus has his own style of playing. But, of course, again, it could be about being in the solo lane, because Zarya's still up there in the solo lane, where, although Uther's coming down faster than Zarya is, this looks like it's going to be a 5v4 for a little while. Can Mal'Ganis find an opening to engage? ETC sensibly staying back, saying we're going to give space until Zarya arrives. Mono goes in, gets a bit of poke.
Yeah, it's even on the shrines here, slight favourite now for the blue team. They're up to 20 Shrine Gardens. Mal'Ganis gets his Q off, doesn't get it into the backline. ETC slides into 2 here, as we do see Zarya coming in as well. So now we're at 5v5. Beretta falling a lot of low here. Shield comes out from Zarya to save her. That's what I mean about those sustained fights. Look at the health of the blue team. It's just all there. Mal'Ganis lands a big Q in the backline. Mal'Ganis goes in, Mephisto goes in and secures the kill onto Zarya. And they get the Punisher as well.
So I think, actually, with hindsight, I think the personal barrier from Zarya, the I Am the Strongest at 4, does make a certain amount of sense, because, like we say, because of this draft where Zarya is the kind of the secondary frontliner, like there's no other bruiser there. So Zarya is going to be taking a lot of punishment and also going to be very much in the thick of things, and kind of has to survive and has to do some serious work when she's in there. As this Punisher already taking 2 towers.
Yeah, they do clear the Punisher though. They didn't lose the fort, so that's always good to see. I think it's one of the worst things you can do usually is lose the first Punisher and immediately lose the fort as well. It's a feels bad moment.
this is the difficulty. This is why Zarya's struggled in the solo lane, and why I don't recommend Zarya as a solo laner. Is she goes up and basically can't do anything, because as soon as she turns on the shield, Uther says, "Okay, I'm just going to wait 2.5 seconds, and then I'm going to come back and hit you again." And Black Cheese is sitting there on 0 energy, and a Zarya on 0 energy is pretty unhappy. And of course, she effectively doesn't have an E button when there's no allies nearby.
There's usually a gank attempted to Morganis, but it is, of course, a Morganis.
That's one of the problems with Mal'Ganis, is he's... I don't want to make one of my characteristic statements and say he's literally unkillable. But, I mean, he sort of is a little bit. He's just got...
Yeah, I think you need something sort of really bursty to deal with the Morganis, or lots of interrupts for his ultimate, because typically I like Greymane into Morganis because you get that bullet and then sort of follow it up with a Jaina combo perhaps, and you might be able to burst him down, but as you say, usually he's just so tanky.
Yeah, I think it's a tough situation for Div 3. Like, how do you kill a Mal'Ganis? The thing is, they do have the ideal tools for it though, in an ETC and a mouth. Like, those are what you want against a Mal'Ganis, to control him and stop him from using his 1 million CCs.
Yeah, and I think perhaps as well we'll see Reign of Vengeance coming from Valor as well, just to try and help with the interrupts, because Strafe is quite popular, but I'm not too sure it'll get too much value here.
No, I agree, because there's so many interrupts as well as you wanting the CC from Mal'Ganis. There's so many interrupts on the side of KittyKat Crusaders, and they hink them their level 10s, by the way.
Level 10s, yeah. ETC decides, yeah, no, I want to get out of here, and good call there from ETC. Especially as the Uther rotated down as well.
Sensible play from the potato there, and he will retreat for now. Yeah, so level 10s are in for KittyKat Crusaders, and almost in for Div 3. The level 10s for KittyKat Crusaders: Dragon's Arrow for Hanzo, fairly expected. Durance of Hate for Mephisto. Holy Word Salvation for Anduin. Carrion Swarm for Mal'Ganis. And the one you all wanted to know about, Divine Storm for Uther. So not going for the shield, going for that Divine Storm, which means they're going to play aggressive.
Yeah, that's the Uther runs at you and just presses R, and then you hope that your team kills them before they kill you. You see a commitment here to Mal'Ganis. You see slides in, and just Valor's just throwing out some damage onto him. So it's level 10 v level 10. All cooldowns are up. This is the fight that you want to see.
So it's Ring of Frost from Jaina, by the way, not the Duke of Wellington, wants to try to blow up like the enemy team and force him to not
with that Divine Storm, though. Yeah, a big Divine Storm or a big Morganis Sleep here. Or Dragon's Arrow as well. Oh, just see commitment onto the Hanzo here, and Hanzo falls, immediately blown up here. Morganis going back in, the knockback not interrupting him. Malfurion going Tranquility. Dunes of Hate landing onto 2 here. Zarya ultimate comes out, trying to zone them out. Morganis goes back in here, lands his 3-man
The Mosh Pit goes 3 into the Ring of Frost. They're all going to get completely blown up by Jaina. Valor, and absolutely savage there, the Ring of Frost.
Can they get the Morganis kill as well? Valor goes in, wants to get the kill, and Morganis lives with a sliver of health.
Only because of the Uther Ghost value. Oh, Mephisto being confident, looking for Jaina. Beretta got to be careful there, even with 2 supports hanging around.
Yes, they're going back in here again. Wants to get that Q resets, and unfortunately they're still even on the Shrine Guardians, and Anduin and Uther are spawning now.
And bear in mind, they're pretty low. They're pretty low on the side of Div 3. They're going to have to sit back and tap. One thing I wanted to comment on, but there wasn't time because the fight was so epic, is I'm surprised at Expulsion Zone from Zarya, given that you've got a Ring of Frost and a Mosh Pit from Jaina ATC. And I think the Black Hole would have made more sense. I like this shutting of the door though. Mal'Ganis can't go anywhere except south into Demortro.
Oh, big Zarya with Durance of Hate though. It's big, and that's going to be Zarya falling down, Malfurion falling down, and Harvey just attacking the minions there. But is able to survive. ETC does the slide available in 1 second. Can he get out? And he does. Harvey still being there, doesn't give a shit. Doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean the KittyKat Crusaders are going to push onto this fort. I think. Yeah, it looked like it basically is looking at the moment like battle of big wombo combos. Like, so when Div 3 get that Mosh Pit Ring of Frost, yes, they're going to get kills. But when you see that Durance and Hanzo Dragon's Arrow, then it looks like KittyKat Crusaders win the fight. So Oh, Expulsion Zone used to shut the door behind Uther and Mal'Ganis. Can they get some punishment onto Uther? The slide doesn't quite connect onto Flyman, who walks away.
Yeah, I think the issue there is the Malfurion PvE healing, which really showed there, because they were all quite low, but they just, unfortunately, Malfurion healing wasn't enough to heal them up, and Mephisto just kept sort of chunking them away there over the wall as well on that last objective, and that's what helped the blue team secure it.
Yeah, absolutely right. The Malfurion couldn't heal when the enemy team was dead, and so they all just sat on low health, and yeah, they got punished in the end by that Durance and Dragon's Arrow, which was absolutely brutal. Both teams are going to have to learn to clamp up less because, you know, like I say, whichever team is getting caught in a wombo combo. As EDC thought about sliding in, just chooses against it because Mal'Ganis was so threatening.
They could Dragon Arrow here. They could go. Level 13s are picked up there, but I think that was a great opportunity. That would have been a sort of 4-man Dragon Arrow. Zarya was showing as well in the mid lane.
Zarya was zero energy, not famous for her wave clear. Just trying to get every shred of soak in that mid lane. But it's difficult. It's difficult when you're a Zarya. Level 13s are in. Zarya.
Well, the red team want to do something here. They do see a slide onto Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis pops his ultimate early though, knowing that he doesn't want to get caught out here. Zarya comes in as well, trying to get some energy.
Gets the energy for sure, but now has to back away because they decided that engage didn't quite work. Both teams traded a heroic, but Expulsion Zone, the biggest redeeming feature of it is it's got a really short cooldown. That'll be back up in 25 more seconds. And while Mal'Ganis is still down for another minute. Maybe that's the window that Div 3 will play around.
Yeah, they need to force it there, so maybe this is perhaps the time they just run at the enemy camp, because I think the ultimate will be up in time for the shrine.
Apparently they're not though. They're just going to play. They're just going to play a bit more solid. Just consolidate, get their own camp, while KittyKat Crusaders get theirs. Those camps are both going to go in the top lane. And then Div 3 are going to rotate to the mid and look to clear. But here comes KittyKat Crusaders thinking about contesting this. They know ETC's in this bush. You saw the danger ping there. Oh, Mal'Ganis tried to catch ETC. Doesn't have the swipes up now. Try it, but Potato sensibly wiggles around and avoids getting caught. A moment of tension here for both teams. Both teams kind of on the standoff where they want to... Oh, Spieler Willy thinking about going in. Potato trying to flank, trying to completely isolate Mal'Ganis from his teammates. But at what cost? Mal'Ganis seems a bit more tanky than an ETC would be.
Again, pops Karen saw him extremely early. As you see Zarya trying to close it out here, trying to lock down... Oh, you see the mosh pit here, but the Jewels of Hate coming out in the backline. Can they do anything with the Ring of Frost comes out as well? Vala trying to just auto-attack and get that damage out, but they've got no interrupt for Anduin.
The Anduin ult was so massive, it's completely shut down a lot of that damage. Uther goes down though. ETC starts to try and put British pressure, has to start to get out of here. Even though Uther has died, he is still providing that healing. Now he's down though properly.
Yeah. To me, if you want to lose a hero first in the fight and you can still engage, Uther's a good one to lose because obviously his passive, when he dies, can still get that healing off for your team.
By the way, that whole fight was kind of set up by a great expulsion zone from Zarya, who just completely put a wall between Mal'Ganis and Uther and the rest of that team. And by the way, that expulsion zone is back up now. That's the short cooldown value of Zarya's level 10.
Yeah, we do see Durance of Hate back up though. Hanzo Arrow back up in 18 seconds. Question is, do they want to commit to this? Uther's on his way back. They need to start going in now if they do want to though.
Level 16s are in, by the way, for KittyKat Crusaders. Yeah. That's a problem. I think, though, the objective will be secured now by Div 3. KittyKat's going to play a little bit safer and just sit back and defend this, which shouldn't give them too many issues.
No. And the red team needs to be careful here. They don't want to necessarily over commit.
Yeah, bearing in mind Jaina is mid, clearing the push that was on that keep, and by the way took a chunk off it. Expulsion zone goes in, doesn't quite isolate. Oh, it does isolate Mephisto.
Yeah, it was just to try and get Mephisto because when he teleported back. But here, they're just trying to... The wave clear side of KittyKat Crusaders is rather poor here, as we do see an attempt to lock down Mal'Ganis, but unfortunately doesn't do it. But they do secure their first fort of the game.
And themselves level 16. In come the level 16 talents for them. Jaina goes for that numbing blast with the roots. Which will hopefully be impactful against Mal'Ganis. Nature's Balance from Malfurion, getting more on that Moonfire. And Zarya going for Game Train, which shields 2 targets instead of 1.
I quite like that here, though, into the AoE damage that Hanzo and Mephisto are putting out. I do quite like that.
I absolutely agree. I think that's a solid pickup here. Yes, they could have gone for the cleansing shield, which was nice against the Uther Divine Storm and the Mal'Ganis Sleeps. But getting more AoE protection for the team will also give Zarya more energy, of course.
Yeah, currently we just see the red team taking all the camps away for the blue team, trying to paint the map red as it were. So they are still 2 forts down to 1, but they do see Uther top here and they want to engage here. You see slides in onto the Mal'Ganis here. Lockdown as well. Mal'Ganis still has his ultimate available. Oh, but the cleanse from Andrew got interrupted by the Mal'Ganis ult itself. I don't know if you saw that interaction.
Yes, I did. But I think if he hadn't been cleansed, he couldn't have pressed it because he was getting stunned.
Yeah, he was getting Rain of Vengeance by the Valor there, I think.
So it was an important cleanse from Anduin. But by the way, the Hanzo arrow was committed, but not any follow-up. And I think I wonder if that's a slight miscommunication on the side of KittyKat Crusaders. It looked like the Hanzo arrow was saying, let's go in and catch them. They're all clumped up. Can we get endurance? And go Spieler Willy, by the way.
Big sleep here. Flyman coming in as well. They lock down the Jaina here, and Jaina's just immediately deleted.
They want to chase here. The swipes come out from Spieler Willy. Doesn't quite catch onto Zarya, who sits back for now. So it is just the Jaina. But that's still a kill, and that's it's 40 seconds in which KittyKat Crusaders will feel in control of this map, and immediately they want to invade here. Div 3 just going to retreat? I think they will.
Yeah, I like this call as well, just to retreat. They unfortunately don't want to get caught out here. But the next shrine is spawning mid as well, and that's already an opened keep. So if the next shrine goes over to KittyKat Crusaders, that's going to be an easy keep. I'd say it's 100% certain to keep, and potentially game if they manage to get a few pickoffs with it.
But, crucially, here's the thing. KittyKat Crusaders won't be level 20 by then, I suspect. I think both teams are going to be level 19-ish, or level 18 for Div 3. And in fact, it's respawning now. So that means that there is a window here where Div 3 can take a fight. But Jaina's not quite with them. She's about 10 seconds behind them on foot. Chasing
but the 3 blue team as well are going down here. Jaina might end up getting caught out by the rotating blue team here. That'd be a little bit unlucky.
Slightly fortunate that she didn't, in fact. Mephisto goes in, starts getting the poke. Doesn't have the expulsion zone to deny the control point. It will secure that. The Endurance of Hado onto 3 members, followed up by the sleep of the Mosh Picker zoning 2 members. Ring of Frost to follow with a Blizzard on top. Jaina doing some work, but she's gone down.
Immediate Valor interrupt though. Can the Valor do anything here? Anduin healing and the Uther just able to keep them alive. That's going to be 3 kills to nothing here. And actually Zarya's going to fall as well. So it's going to be 4 kills to nothing.
Absolutely devastating that. And it almost all came together.
Yeah, they could just take this keep and end, I think, because the keep's already open with the minion wave there as well. And yeah, we immediately see all 5 members rotating over.
Yeah, they're going straight in. The sleep onto Malf. I mean, Malf might be dead as well. Lovely roots there from Alucard. Gets himself away for now, but in comes the stun from Flyman. Tries to catch him under this core. Alucard, can you get away? Yes, you can. But the problem is it's still another 15 seconds till Valor's alive. 10 until ATC. Malf can't do that much on his own, but he's got to try something just to keep them off this core for long enough. Jaina comes in, doesn't have the Ring of Frost, but she may be able to put out some damage.
Core falls down, 50% on the core. This should be game. Endurance of Fate comes out onto the ETC here. 30%. Yeah, this should be game easily. All they have to do is right-click it at this point, and it's absolutely GG going over to the KittyKat Crusaders.
GG, well played to them. A phenomenal performance in both game 1 and 2. So well played to them there. Well, I mean, where did it go wrong for Div 3? Because, I'll tell you something. It was only 8 kills to 5. And, until that last fight, that means that Div 3 had the kill advantage. And yet, both games, you kind of feel like they let the chance of victory slip through their fingers, didn't they?
I feel like the deaths or the decision making is slightly just not quite there. I mean, in that last fight, Jaina got a great Ring of Frost out, but was deleted herself in the process of trying to throw it out. So if the Jaina survives in that moment, that's probably a team wipe for KittyKat Crusaders rather than for against Divison 3. So I think in those fights, it was just crucial timings as well. I mean, the pickups for the blue team, it was all about that first shrine really, and how it sort of snowballed from there as well.
Yeah, I think
The second shrine, where they got the Div 3 got the kills, but weren't able to secure the shrine. Ended up falling 2 or 3. They lost all of their keep ball, half of the keep, and that obviously created a win condition for KittyKat Crusaders as well.
I mean, I think the fight, it's difficult to say what exactly went wrong, because I kind of almost all. I mean, first of all, the Anduin ults were huge, but it kind of wasn't that. I think the Durance of Hate and the Dragon's Arrows from Mephisto and Hanzo together, when they worked together and when Div 3 were clumped up, they got so punished by that. Absolutely devastating stuff.
I also like how Uther wasn't afraid to throw out the Divine Storm as well, even just to lock down the Jaina. So it was an ultimate use just to kill that Jaina, but it was worth it. They get the kill, and that led to the shrine as well. So they just played around their cooldowns completely well and had a lot of focus.
I think we're going to have an interview in just a second with the tank player from KittyKat Crusaders to get some of their thoughts on that match, which waiting for that to get set up. But I should also award the points. Yes, so congratulations to anyone who bet points on KittyKat Crusaders. I think we're now going to go over to the interview room to speak to them. So let's do that.
Because my face will go bye-bye.
Yeah, we're going momentarily. Yes. Hello.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
Pretty amazing.
I mean, congratulations on a great performance in the first match of the new season. I mean, what has been going through your mind in that game? Because it looked like your opponents there, Divison 3, they had a real chance at winning.
No, I mean, we had our comfort picks, and we've been playing for some times with each other, so we got synergies, and pretty much was a good game for us. We made a few mistakes, but they were not critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the ETC play from yourself in the first game needs a worthy mention there. I mean, as you say, early game you may have got caught out a bit, but towards mid and late game, you're peeling for your team and just controlling the Blaze particularly was really well played.
Yeah, I mean, it was enough wonders for me to realize I need to,
I mean, that one death though, I sort of blinked and you were gone. You were there a second ago, and then all of a sudden just deleted by the I think it's the Li Ming combo from the other team.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that too. Darkin just nearly dropped a cleanse on me, and I'm dead.
Yeah.
So,
but still,
I mean, KittyKat Crusaders has been in Lounge for a while now, and played in the Legendary Cup before. I mean, what are the aspirations of KittyKat Crusaders for this season? Is it to win the Legendary Cup?
I mean, we have a pretty new roster this season. Me myself is playing only like a 5th official match with the team, and Mono is with us for this season only. So we don't know what it'll look like. But since the last season went pretty well for the team, they finished on the 4th place, I believe. This time we can maybe try to get to top 3 and maybe get a promotion. I mean, Dona Fedoros is still a team we probably won't win, but with all the others, we can contest.
And complex. But yes, no, it's
fighting talk there.
Sorry, I play Division 2 as well. That's all. So no, it's you did a strong performance in game number 1 anyway, particularly well. You didn't really look like a new team. You know, we mentioned it in cast. Obviously, the teams existed, but we didn't know how new this roster was. So thank you for clarifying that as well.
Yeah, so I mean, how has that affected the team coordination? Has it been tough to play with like a mixed up roster, or is it
We're
still easy?
getting better and better with every game, I think. Of course, we still have some miscoordinations with macro and micro calls, but still we're watching the replays and trying to talk to each other. So I think we have a good potential, and already we are on a good level.
Yeah,
Good. It's nice to see the confidence coming out as well, particularly if you change your roster. It's always good to see, and you know if you're enjoying playing with each other as well, and obviously that's the purpose of it all as well.
Yeah, as a positive attitude is vital for a team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, it looked like a great performance from you so far. I mean, have you got any shout outs you want to do to anyone before we head off?
Yeah, the first game Tyrande was pretty amazing. I mean, her follow-up stunts were wow, beautiful. And of course, I would like to thank my captain, Oni Knight. I love you, bro.
Yeah, Honey Knight there in the chat. I'm sure we'll appreciate that. Okay, well, I think with that in mind, we'll probably wrap up the interview there. Thank you again for joining us, and congratulations on being, starting your season 11 off very, very comfortably with a nice 2-0 victory.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Yeah, good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers.
So that concludes the first cast of the season. Oh, sorry, just a second. Yes, that concludes the first cast of the season. What are your thoughts on it, Aviator?
I think it went really well. I think it was a good game as well, right? I think it's quite nice to have a good series for that as well.
Yeah, I think it was. The thing is, it wasn't. Although it was 2-0, it was not particularly one-sided. It's been
No, that's the thing I meant by it, is that it was a competitive game, despite the scoreline. I don't think it fully reflected the match. I think you could have quite accepted a 2-1 or a deciding game there.
Yeah, I think that this was a good series to start off the Heroes Lounge Mega Monday matchups with. And for viewers who don't know, we'll be back again next week. Well, we specifically might not be, or we don't know which. We'll be mixing up the casters every week probably, but somebody will be back here next week at the same time, next Monday at 8 p.m. Central European time. So definitely check it out then. Of course, you can keep an eye on the Heroes Lounge calendar, heroeslounge.gg/calendar, or you can click follow somewhere at the top and get notifications. Get notifications that way about upcoming casts. Any final thoughts from you, Aviator, before we head off?
That's a strong showing for Division 2, which it makes me excited for my own games. So hopefully, and obviously yourself, you're playing this week, are you, or next week?
I'm playing. Yeah, I'm playing on Wednesday for the Naughty Otters. So I don't think that will be cast, as far as I know. The Naughty Otters, yeah, Division 3.
Well,
not
best of luck
Division
to you.
3, not Division 3.
Yeah, just for clarity there, disclaimer. And I think my team is playing on Wednesday as well, and that's not casted, but I'm obviously not here, so good
Now
luck to
then,
them.
how I want to know, where can people find you on the internet if they want to watch more of your casts?
Well, at the moment it's a bit difficult because I'm not sure how good my internet is, as proven earlier today in game number 1, or just before game number 1 rather. But my Twitch handle is twitch.tv/aviator, exactly how it's showing on the screen. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to cast. I casted last season, but this season I moved house, and when you live in the middle of nowhere in Wales, internet's a bit tricky. Unfortunate.
I'm sure somebody. I think people should check your channel out anyway, and I'm sure people will understand if you occasionally disconnect. That's all we've got time for, though, for this evening. That's all we've got time for. We're going to throw you over to Samu and Skylore, who are casting over on Samu's channel.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just as I
Thank you, Frank
deserve.
V. Lucas, for resubbing for 2 months. We are going to get more and more content, hopefully, on this channel than we had in last season. It should be we're going to have a regular cast here on every Monday. Heroes Lounge, Mega Monday matchups. I'm going to get used to saying that, hopefully, by the end of the season. But I can't, no promises. But like I say, it's all we've got time for this evening here. There's more Heroes Lounge action, of course, going on. Like we said, Skylore and Samu are casting Division 6's Fish McCann versus Hot's Musical over on Samu's channel, which I'll raid you over to in just a second. But from Aviator, it's
Ciao.
and from me, it's good night, and we'll see you again next week. Make sure you follow. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.